Hello everyone. This is a pretty special morning video since I will be doing this one in English as yesterday I had a student that came back to the game and needs some help on Warlock Zoo. So I made a very simple list that you can find in the description, and this video will be a little bit more coaching oriented and will be in English. Hope it's not trouble for the 5.5 people that usually watch me every single morning. Oh my god, guys, I love you so much. Can you see that connection between us? Alright, so the list I made has more demons and almost no crazy cards. The reason why is because I think Zoo only has one thing going for him in this metagame, which is it is very stable in the early game. It usually takes the board in a very efficient way, and I wanted to maximize that using more demons for when I get Karathad, using more just pure pressure against decks like Druid or things like this. So it's possible that we're gonna see a lot of aggressive decks because it's the very start of the season. This is actually my first game of the new season, and people have a tendency to go very aggressive early to go to Legend pretty fast. So we'll just see what happens. And I just need something to discard my end of Gul'dan and I should be happy. This is not it, but this is fine as well. So I just do this, right? I think if I do this, I'm in a pretty good shape. Boom! So combo number 1, Dark Glare, Mana Cheater. Combo number 2, Karathad, Demon Mana Cheater. And then we have the card cheater that's in our hand. It's End of Gul'dan, but we need to find some way of discarding it. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm trying to install my board. Zoo is a very simple deck when it comes to concepts. Take the board, protect it, put it in your opponent's face. These are the 3 steps that you can pretty much do every single game. The only question is, how early should I put in my opponent's face? And how many insults should I shout at a rogue that has literally every single card he needs, because damn, his deck is way better than mine. No, his deck is not way better than mine. His outs are way better than mine. And now I have nothing because he controlled my board, which means I'm in a terrible position, and I'm probably gonna lose this game. Ooh, I got a 1-5. I'm happy. This game is very likely over. Like, Zoo has a very hard time against decks that can efficiently trade the board in the early game, and this kind of rogue is kind of exceptional at doing this when he has everything he needs. And since he got Backstab, he had the prize winner, he had Shadow Step, he also had his value engine. Let's be honest, this game is probably already over. So I have to use my spell for absolutely nothing. I'm just trying to discard something so I can actually get something rolling. I am not going to get something rolling. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna keep going. But just so you know, I am fully conscious. I am already dead, and I'm doing this only because I love you guys, and you love me watch me lose, and you love me watch me suffer, and no, it's not true. Alright, the board is definitely lost. He's getting some value. We're just gonna move on to the next game. So this is a fine example of what can go wrong in Zoo. I had a setup. I tried it. I put my minions on the board early. At some point I had a way better board than he did, having 3 minions and he had 1, except he could answer that and I didn't have any follow-ups. The idea of Zoo is, since you can draw and cheat mana for pretty efficient resources, you should be able to keep going all the time, even when your opponent removes the board. The thing is, most of the time, when your opponent removes your board, he's not playing any at the same time, which means you can just drop a new board and kind of reset the situation. And this means that you still have initiative, and as long as you have initiative, you should be in a good shape. The problem with Rogue is they really don't care about these concepts and that kind of things, and they usually deal with your minions while playing some of theirs. So it's really hard to gain tempo and initiative against rogue, so they beat the crap out of me. But this is a paladin, and lately paladin has been very, very aggressive. Not in the way he deals damage, but in the way he builds his decks. Ramp paladin has literally no way to defend himself. Like, ramp paladin is a huge ball of pressure that tries to punish the opponent, and so what we're gonna do is we are going to try and punish him first. So he has the weapon next turn. I don't really care if he kills my 2-1 actually. The important minion here is Dark Glare, so I should just protect him. There's no reason for me to deal damage to the little guy. So if your 1-1 wants to kill my 2-1, this is perfect. That means you don't have anything to kill my 3-4, and I will happily take it. And now I'm really happy. I got Tour Guide, which means I get to draw for literally 0. So like here, as Dark Glare gives me back a mana, for 0 mana, I got a 1-1 and a card. I'm really happy about this. And I'm just gonna develop a taunt to protect my Dark Glare. That's gonna help me kill his Murloc. See, like, this is something I didn't want to do. I don't want to damage my Dark Glare, but he's the only one that could kill this this Murloc. So I'm just gonna play a taunt so I can actually protect him. And now I would love to have some discarding mechanic. Please, Hearthstone, let's go. Help me, give me something. Let's go, please, Hearthstone. Now I'm having End of Gul'dan a lot, but I'm not having what I need to abuse it. I don't have that many cards in this list that can abuse End of Gul'dan. I think I have 5. This being one of them. Coming in at the right time, being clutch. This is a card that just won a game of Hearthstone, because now it allows me, as you can see, to kill his minion, draw a ton of cards, push all my damage to his face, and I should be in a perfect shape, which is, you know, this math teachers that were allowed to draw perfect circles at the board using nothing except an elbow that they would stick like this, and then they go Eeh! And everybody in the class was like, oh my god, I had no idea my teacher was so cool. That's kind of what this 5-5 did right now. Alright, so we had the 2 perfect examples. We had the rogue that destroyed my tempo super early and put me in a really bad position and I couldn't do anything. And I had the paladin that let me do whatever I wanted, and I could abuse my mechanics, develop a lot of pressure, and be really happy about it. And this is kind of the thing with Zoo, is it's kind of everything or nothing until the point where you can actually get the giants and things like this. So this version of the deck, I didn't put in the broomsticks. So broomstick, if you didn't know it, is a 1-1 for 1 mana that gives rush to your whole board. And since Zoo is a very minion-centric deck, it's usually a really good thing to have that in the deck. The thing is, right now in the metagame, I don't feel like there's a lot of trading matchups. Except the mirror match and some kind of weird matchups sometimes. The deck really relies way more on pressuring the opponent early, and once you have the board, you just don't want to lose it. And you just protect your minions. So I felt like Broom could be removed for these 1-5, which are protecting Dark Glare way better. And now we're just gonna play against an opponent that's gonna have literally everything on the freaking hearth, and is gonna play a ton of 1-1s, and we're gonna lose. And this is where I was saying that Zoo is unfortunately a fair deck. Like, I think it's a really good deck to learn the game when you're back to it, or it's a really good way to interact with people and learn trades and stuff like this. The problem in the current metagame is Zoo is also a very punishing deck, and when the opponent doesn't have all his synergies, it's really easy to punish them. Like, you could see the Paladin couldn't do anything because he didn't have the absolute nuts. But when your opponent does, like here for example, the problem is Zoo takes much more time to develop, and so you heavily get punished. And here it's another example of me literally losing the game on the spot because it's turn 3 and my opponent has a full board, and I'm not supposed to be able to kill a full board on turn 3. So here I am just literally going to die. I'll let him do it, and if he has Savage Roar, it just kills me almost right now. So that was kind of the game of the morning. I wouldn't recommend, if you're trying to go to Legend or something like that, like I wouldn't recommend Zoo. I think the deck is lacking a lot of things that other decks have, mostly a big high roll potential. But, and this is a good thing that actually got steamrolled, the deck is actually also really good to learn basic concepts of the game, and it's a really good comeback deck. It's a really good deck to come back into the game and check the mechanics and have an idea how the game works. And once you're comfortable on this, just change to a more complicated deck with more synergies, more things to do. But these are things that you will only understand if you have the other concepts like assimilated. And for now, if you're coming back after 2 years, you might not have them and the game might go super fast. So what I'm recommending is not a great deck. It's a deck that goes at your speed. Like, you need your gameplay first. Once you have that, feel free to move to take the next step and go to stupid decks. And that will be for another video tomorrow. I hope this was at least a little helpful, and I hope that we'll be able to do more of these, because it's actually fun to do it in English from time to time. So for the Frenchies out there that are used to me speaking French every single morning, let me know if that's a problem. Let me know if that costed anything in the video, and I guess I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'll be back to French, I'll be back to being exhausted, and I'll be back to saying absolute nonsense about a game we love. Have a good day, everyone.